Welcome to the Harold Washington Post 1987 Hotline TV show. This show is your show. Now I'm going to turn it over to that fantastic commander. Bam.
Thank you very much for the partner. It's my partner in crime, always. It takes two of us. This is the other part. I love them, man. Thank you very much for tuning in to this evening. And the person that's supposed to be here hasn't made it, and her name is Waldo Bennett, and she's from the DePaul University, so we may have to schedule her for another time, but that doesn't stop this show.
Absolutely.
Because this show, as they say, one person don't stop a show. But the show continue to go on.
We want to shout out to our technician.
Yes,
Jack.
our technician, Jack. Sorry he's not with us this evening because he's in the hospital having heart problems and everything. Our prayers and thoughts and love go out to you, Jack, and
to the First Lady.
To the First Lady and the family.
Yes.
And now, this is what we call mulligan stew. We're going to throw anything and everything in the pot this evening. And by the way, I'm sorry, listeners, we're not accepting phone calls. We didn't pay our bill this week. No. Our technician is not here, so that's why we're not accepting any phone call. So please just listen, or later on call me at 773-719-0854, and the phones will be answered then. That's 773-719-0854, and we're going to discuss a lot of things. Main thing, want to tell you the upcoming, although the American Legion has turned 100 years old this year, so that means the first African American post is the George L. Giles Post, which is Post 87, and they having their 100-year anniversary gala, which will be August 18th, 2019, at 5745 South State Street at the Giles Post. And that's to celebrate not only the American Legion 100 years, but the 100 years of that post. That post has been there since 1919.
Wow.
And it's still going on strong. 1919. The first African American Legion post in the United States, and it's still growing strong. And thanks to the commander, which is Commander Ashley Shine, he does a great job. He keeping the faith going and keeping the troops motivated and stuff.
Commander, some time back, I think it was when we first started doing the show, you put it out there that the American Legion Post got started overseas?
Yes, it got started in February. The mention came up in February 1919 in Paris, France, where Theodore Roosevelt Jr., Lieutenant Theodore Roosevelt Jr., yes, the president had a son.
Wow.
And didn't find that out until I read about it. It's in the history books. But anyway, him and the delegation went over to London, England, after the ending of World War I. And due to the fact that, like by the veterans coming home and stuff like that, over there they had the French Foreign Legion. And the French Foreign Legion been existing since the 1700s.
Wow.
And this, they military, but see, they're a garrison also. But see, they fought for not just for France, but for other places and everything. But anyway, so after the end of the World War I, in 1919, a lot of the troops got together and was saying that they, as far as veterans, they come back to the United States and they don't have anything that exists for themselves and stuff. So now, since over here in France they got the French Foreign Legion, why not to have the American Legion? And the delegation went over there again with Lieutenant Theodore Roosevelt Jr., and the delegation went over there, and that's when they formed the American Legion.
Now, was this integrated delegation, or was this the president's son with black troops?
Well, it really, from the books, it said that we know we get counted out anyway. But it started with a black man.
Wow.
He the one came up with the idea of it. But the delegation went over there to form this for them. So as a whole, during that time, when they was coming back, they said, well, why not? So they brought it to Congress. So Congress passed that act. So then, back in June, that's when the American Legion landed here in the United States. And the first African American branch of the American Legion was the George L. Giles. And that was right here in Chicago, Illinois, on the south side, 5745 South State Street. And by the way, since it was the only African American post in the American Legion, from there it formed other George L. Giles posts all through the United States. So now American Legion posts are named after members that served proudly and died for this country. So that's why, just like my post, which is the Harold Washington Post, it's named after the first African American elected mayor. And any other posts that's dealing with the American Legion, they're named after people that have served their countries and stuff and died for their country. All except one post, and that's the Richard J. Daly Post. That's on the south side, but how that became, he's the only one that didn't serve, but has American Legion Post named after him. I guess due to he was the mayor. But other than that, you know, this is how we became what we are now. And dealing with the community as always, and just like they have Red Cross and Salvation Army and things like that. Well, see, they don't tell you that, but the American Legion, they have units that go out for the like hurricane victims or whatever. When they come down to tragedy and stuff like that, we have also. But see, we the unsung heroes. We don't be mentioned and stuff like that. But see, all through the United States, north, south, east, and west of this country, they have posts in different parts of the United States. So that way, you know, whether you're in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, or whatever, there are American Legion posts all over.
It's amazing. Look at the uniform. They had boots.
Yeah.
That way, almost like horse riding.
And 10 to 1, that's what they look like back then
Yeah.
and there. That was the
That was the uniform.
that was the uniform of the day.
Wow. And he was a lieutenant. He was an officer.
He was the officer.
Wow. 1939 was a portrait.
That's when they made it.
Wow. See that, folks? We have rich military history. And see, I served under General Price in Germany. He was my general in Germany, General Price. Matter of fact, he came through to do our inspection of our barracks. I'm standing at attention. I was like, "Is you Leontine Price, brother?"
What?
Yeah.
I like
The great
to say
opera
that,
singer, Leontine
Yeah.
Price. That was her brother.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Learn something
General
new every
Price.
day.
Yeah. The great opera singer.
And see, you know, that's just like, you'll never know what, it don't have to be a black officer or a white officer, but long as it's a person. You don't even have to be an officer, period.
Right.
You could be an enlisted person and, you know, get a name after, a poster named after you and stuff like that. All they want to do is just give recognition. You know, but see, this is how it goes and stuff like that. And see, it's what the community that they represent. And when I mention community, that don't mean just because we're the Harold Washington Post is located 4500 South Michigan. we're not talking about just that community. Our community, as I always say, that it's the whole city of Chicago.
Absolutely.
And the United States is our community, because see, the idea, if something happened to anybody, tragedy at any post, anywhere, well, we're all together. When we go down to our conventions, especially our state convention, every year, the middle part of July into the third week of July, we're down in Springfield, Illinois, we have our convention. Our national headquarters is located in Indianapolis, Indiana. And that's where we have our national convention, unless it's sometimes it goes to different cities and stuff like that, you know. But see, either way it go, but majority of the time it's in Indianapolis. Like this year, to celebrate our 100th year anniversary, it would be in Indianapolis.
And what part of the season would that be?
That's always in August. That's always the third week of August.
Wow.
So, you know, and then, you know, speaking of the American Legion, what they do, people be wondering, what exactly things that you do? But see, you know, we press Congress for different bills that has to, that we want to get passed for the veterans and stuff. Just like, you know, for the dental cares and stuff, you know, or whatever it may be, you know, that's how we get bills passed for the veterans and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And one thing about the show, folks out there in television land, we do our best to bring you information that is vital to our veterans and our women veterans as well. And we don't never want to leave out the women.
Right.
Okay, because the women have come a long way in the military.
And not only for the veterans, we also speak about the civilians and stuff, just like he could tell you, not just for the veterans, but for civilians, about your taxes.
Yes.
Tell them about what's going on about the taxes.
Well, what's happening right now, there is a move to make things happen when it comes to the pension crisis, when it comes to township government, when it comes to the consolidation of school districts, because see, all this stuff affects your taxes. Now, in Cook County, we have a serious problem because our communities have been overtaxed, over-assessed, and overvalued. And from what we was told by Dr. Christopher Berry from the University of Chicago, we lost $2.5 billion in this scheme. And that's why we end up making a change in who was running the Cook County Assessor's Office. Even though we made that change, we still got ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And as veterans, we don't like that. Because we put our lives on the line for people like the folks who run for public office, who have never served in the military, turned around and ripped off civilians and veterans. And so now we want the veterans to wake up and understand that we have vital information that you need to understand that we cannot continue to take the madness that is going on in Cook County or throughout the state. And therefore, you need to wake up and understand that there's a new sheriff in town called the Herald Washington Post 1987. Our job is to bring you vital information that's going to make you say, like on Arsenio Hall show.
Okay, because this is the stuff that we really need to know.
Yes.
We need the public to be aware what's going on around you.
Yes.
Some of the things you may hear on television, some things you may not, but on this show, you're hearing it straight.
Straight.
And your taxes mean a lot.
Yes.
You are getting, well, not you, let me rephrase it. We are getting ripped off.
Absolutely. And there are some lawsuits in the court system, and there need to be another lawsuit that go after making sure that veterans and civilians get some form of what we call reciprocity for us getting ripped off.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's like insurance.
Yes. So when we get some more up-to-date information, we will let you know. Same thing with the fact that in our state, you need to know we have 7,000 units of government. We got more units of government than any other state in the United States of America. We are the second highest property tax state in the union. New Jersey is number one, but that's only about 2 or 3 points, Commander. Then we
So
have
close.
Yeah, so close. I mean, we can be neck and neck.
But see, the only thing that's close is horseshoes.
Yes.
Okay. We're not playing horseshoes.
No. And another thing you need to understand is that we have sat back and let this system perpetuate itself for over 40 to 50 years. And we have created so many layers of government that it makes no sense. And then we talk about the consolidation of school districts. We want you to understand that we only have 2,070,000 students in Illinois. And when you look at the state of Florida, they got 2,700,000 students, and they got between 68 and 74 school districts to our 852.
And that means why are we out in blocks? Why are we in so disarray divisions?
Politics.
And that's what hurt us.
Yes.
That's what hurt our
Because
communities.
We're wasting $1 billion of tax dollars every year on administrative costs. We have too many school districts and we have too many administrators.
And not only that, now let's speak of Cook County itself. You know, we're in a shambles because Cook County is the only county that's in the United States to have more veterans than any state, any city in the United States. We're the biggest veterans homes, how you put it, homesteading set
States.
right here in Chicago, Cook County. But we don't get anything when it comes down to assessing our taxes and everything about what the benefits should be for the veterans. What can we get? How it's allocated and stuff like that. But now you go outside of Cook County, it's different. Whether you go to LaSalle County, Will County, whatever, you know, they get more from outside Cook County than we
They
get
treat
inside.
their veterans much better. And that's not right.
And then you want to know why. But see, everybody's focused on Cook County. Everybody got their hand in the pot
Yeah.
for Cook County.
And they don't care about the veterans.
No, because see, even the Cook County assessment, they cut us short. We supposed to get a certain amount per year to the veterans. But see, when it comes down to our veterans and everything, by the time it will reaches us, out of all the veterans here in the city, in the Cook County area, it's only about $11.50,
Wow.
and maybe less. Why? Because see, the idea, they're playing politics without money. What they promise us is there. When I said there, it's there. But by the time we get it, it's been slashed because it's going this place and that place and that place. Redistributing our money and stuff like that. That's why we don't have anything. That's why it's hard for a veteran to even get certain things, especially health, in the city of Cook County.
But why don't the Cook County Board, who have the Veterans Committee, why don't they have a committee meeting and talk to us?
Well, see, every time they have a meeting at the Cook County, at the Board of Cook County and stuff like that, we go down there. But then too, you know, it's a shame. They tell us we're not being represented right. How are we not being represented right when we representing ourselves? But they say we can't do that. We need we need one voice to speak for all these veteran organizations here. We need one voice. We had one voice, but then you all didn't listen to him.
Right.
And that's Al Bundy, and y'all kicked him out. Where are the veterans getting their representation from?
Well,
Who's helping us in Cook County establishment? No one. Everybody, just like all the election officials, always say, you know, as the veterans, you know, help us get elected and stuff like that. But yeah, when you get elected, what do we get?
and you know what, Commander? I think that the dynamics of everything is all of these candidates who run for public office always want to use us
At two.
as a prop.
Yes. If I get the veterans, or I speak highly for the veterans, and even some of the past mayoral candidates and stuff like that, they said what they were going to do for the veterans and stuff like that, but that was the only time they said they were going to do something for the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
It's during this time. Now, what they doing? Just because they not elected the mayor now, but still now, you still have positions. Still help us. See, that's the only thing that we be fighting for. Why wait until this election time to promise us this and that, and then you get up there and then you cut us off?
Yeah.
Again, what's happening with Cook County?
Cook County's going to do some changes.
Oh, yes, they are. Even
And then Chicago's about to go through some changes.
even with the
new
president
mayor.
of the board
Yeah.
and the new mayor and all of this. But see, the idea, we still adapt.
Yeah.
Because
That's
see,
what-
the
that's what
idea,
they
we,
teach us,
yeah,
Bernard.
because that's what I'm going to say.
adapt.
Because we're fighters.
Yeah.
We learn how to adapt. Because see, the idea, we don't know only one thing to do is keep fighting. When is the fight is over? How long do we have to continue fighting for unjust?
Well, Commander, it's like this. Until victory is won, as veterans, we must continue to fight for our veterans.
And we got to stick together.
We got to. And I think that's part of the dilemma that we're in, because our veterans are split just like the civilians are split.
Oh, yes.
Okay? And because they're split and we're split, that's why we got chaos.
And we're going to have that until we get unified.
Yes.
Unification.
Yes. Well, Commander, when you having fun, time flies.
Don't it though?
Folks out there in television land,
We just started, but that's a lie.
we shout out to Jack and the First Lady. Jack, we hope you feel better soon.
Get
And,
well, man.
You know, we'll be back here next Monday. Until then, remember, Harold Washington Post 1987, Hotline is your show.
If you want Harold,
You got
got
Harold.
Harold. Thank you, and have a nice evening.
We still got time. We still got time.
And we live. Okay, so then again, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And sometimes when you have the opportunity, please call in.
Yes.